you're a middle manager, AI is coming for your job. Experts are now warning that anywhere between 20 to 40% of middle manager roles in Indian companies will be eaten up by AI by the end of 2026. Most of you watching this video know that this is already happening, maybe even where you work right now. The most high-profile case, of course, of middle managers being sacked is Tata Consultancy Services, TCS. It has or is in the process of sacking 12,000 employees, most of them middle managers. But if you think it is only going to affect tech companies, you're completely wrong. Middle managers are being asked to go everywhere, from banking and finance to retail to manufacturing, advertising, and even media. And if middle managers are being replaced by AI-driven systems, then just imagine what is happening to entry-level jobs. Freshers accounted for 70% of new hires in India's corporate sector in 2024. This year, in the first 3 months, the share of freshers in new hires has dropped to just about 50%. This is happening across the world. AI is devouring jobs and setting off a vicious cycle that is causing even more job losses. Economists are calling it a job apocalypse. An apocalypse of jobs never seen before, because it is happening in spite of economic growth. This is not because there's a recession. Over the next few minutes, I will take you through some of the evidence from India and across the world of how middle managerial jobs are drying up. I will tell you what experts and corporate bosses are themselves saying about what will happen to managerial positions in the coming years. I will also give my take on why it is happening and what you can expect over the next year or so. And finally, I will share what I am doing in my own life to remain relevant as a white-collar worker. But before I go on, here's an appeal. If you want to watch data-driven takes like these on issues that matter to you, then please subscribe to my channel. And also like this video. It will tell YouTube to show this to more people like you. Okay, let's start with the earthquake in India's IT sector, which employs more than 5 million people. All right. The warning signs actually came last year when India's big tech companies reduced their employee strength for the first time since the IT boom began in the 1990s. People were sacked or they were just allowed to leave and their positions were not filled up. Right? So Infosys recruited freshers from campuses across India, didn't onboard them for months, and when they were finally taken on, very quickly a large number of them were asked to leave within just a few months of being taken on. Anyone who had been tracking these companies realized that these things were getting bad for them. I myself have written about it several times. I will leave a link or two in the description. If you're interested in reading them, you can. But no one was actually prepared for what TCS announced a few months ago, that they were going to lay off 12,000 people, mostly in middle manager positions. Employees and insiders right now claim the actual numbers are much higher, closer to 30,000, but TCS has officially denied this report. Wipro is also reported to have laid off a large number of people, and its total headcount has actually dropped by more than 25,000 since 2023. Many of these people who have been sacked would have been in middle management positions, as the Economic Times had reported more than a year ago that this was partly planned. Accenture, Cognizant, Oracle, all tech companies with large India operations have also sacked many people. Accenture, for instance, has recently announced that it laid off 11,000 employees across the world in the last 3 months because, in the CEO's words, they could not be retrained for AI. Many of them are likely to have been working in India. Now, these are the companies that we know of because they've either announced it themselves or that they're laying off employees, or someone inside has leaked this information to journalists and we've got to know about it. There are unconfirmed reports doing the rounds on social media, especially if you go to LinkedIn, about similar things happening across companies and not just tech companies, across companies. This is not just about India, it is happening everywhere. Microsoft has announced it will sack 5% of its workforce and use the money saved to invest heavily in AI. Through 2025, Google has reduced its managerial staff down by a third, getting rid of people who supervise small teams. Meta has also laid off about 5% of its global workforce mostly in certain layers of middle management. Of course, tech has been the worst hit by AI. More than 90,000 tech jobs have disappeared in the US this year. But estimates suggest that AI adoption has cost another 25 to 30,000 jobs in other sectors as well, from banking to retail. Again, many of these were middle management jobs. CNN, Dropbox, BlackRock, Salesforce have all sacked a significant chunk of their support and managerial staff. Now, one would have expected AI to replace repetitive, low-level tasks, and it has done that. Customer support employees, for instance, have been among the worst hit, the first to go, because their role has been taken over completely by AI bots. It was also expected that AI would take over entry-level tasks. Again, it has done that. A Stanford University study released recently says that in jobs like software development and customer service, which are especially vulnerable to AI adoption, hiring of freshers has fallen by 13% since ChatGPT was first released at the end of 2022. Software engineers between the age of 22 to 25 are the worst hit. Their recruitment has fallen by 20%. Startups in the US, which used to hire a lot of freshers earlier, have also tightened their belts and are increasingly using AI. They now employ about 20% fewer people than they did 5 years ago. Now, I want to emphasize one thing here. The jobs going in the tech sector are not necessarily those of techies. Yes, of course, software engineers are affected because AI platforms can write code better than most engineers, other than the very best. Any startup founder will tell you that. But a large number of those sacked are managers and supervisors who don't directly work in technology anymore. The reason this is happening in tech companies first is because they are the first to implement AI-driven administrative systems. They know it first because they are building these systems for all kinds of industries. It is interesting that jobs portals and recruitment agencies are also in the front line of companies sacking managers and replacing them with AI. That's because they have first-hand information of what is happening in the job space, what kind of people companies want to hire now. So, Recruit, the parent company of Glassdoor and Indeed, which are recruitment agencies, has started laying off a large number of people. So, it would be safe to assume that the recruitment agencies have a finger on the pulse of what is coming. TeamLease, one of India's fastest growing HR consultancy companies, has predicted that 1 in 5 Indian companies, that's 20%, will get rid of half of their middle management staff by 2026 and replace them with AI. According to TeamLease, 30 to 40% of middle managers in tech are at risk of losing their job, 20 to 25% in banking and finance, 15 to 20% in manufacturing and retail, and even healthcare will see a 10 to 15% drop in managerial jobs, middle management jobs, most of these. This is all in India, but the trend is true for every country in the world. 41% of global companies surveyed by the World Economic Forum have confirmed that they expect to replace employees with AI and reduce their workforce over the next 5 years. And I think this is probably too optimistic a picture. I think it is likely to happen much faster than 5 years. So why is this happening? Why are managerial jobs being hit so badly by AI so soon as these AI platforms have come? The answer probably lies in your own use of AI. What do you use it for? Probably to write an email to a client or to draft your leave request. Maybe you upload some report and ask ChatGPT to summarize it for you. Those of you who use AI more intensively than others might use it to do research for yourself or generate bullet points for the next presentation, and even maybe generate images for the presentation. Whatever it is, AI has made many tasks significantly faster and freed you up to do other things. For instance, this video that you're watching right now has been edited and captioned automatically by an AI app, and it has reduced my work by several hours. If you now have free time, your employer is going to fill that up with more work. All right? In fact, you are probably already getting work that 2 people ought to be doing or were doing till now. Your boss is probably telling you to use AI to do some of it. AI training has now become mandatory in most corporate offices. And in many places, employees are being asked to show that they're using AI platforms. So initially, ChatGPT had reduced your workload. Now it has increased it. If you are a manager who has 5 people in your team, you only need 3 of them now. So what is happening? 2 people's work is now being done by AI. So what will happen to your position? Well, 2 teams which had 5 people each now have 3 each, so they can be merged. And they no longer need 2 managers. 1 will suffice. So you see what has happened here. See, not only do 4 juniors lose their jobs, the 10 have become 6, but 1 manager is also losing the job. And if you had a manager above you who handled 5 team leads like you, then even that person is in trouble because there are fewer team leads left to supervise or manage. And the big bosses in every company have realized this. That is why Microsoft has said that it will flatten some of the layers in its organizational structure and get rid of some management level positions altogether. Some are calling it a left shift in org structure. Tasks that were earlier handled by a senior level employee are being handed down to a junior who is being equipped with AI tools. The old pyramid structure where a company had a large number of junior employees being supervised at each level by fewer and fewer leaders and managers is being replaced by a diamond HR structure where there will be very few junior employees and a leader mid-management section, but a larger body of high-performing employees. HCL Tech has officially announced something like this. It no longer wants to fill up the bottom of the pyramid with junior staff. It does not want volume anymore. Instead, it plans to build what it calls an elite cadre of promising freshers who will be paid 3 to 4 times the standard entry-level salary. So what does this mean for the average corporate employee who had dreams of slowly climbing up the pyramid and rising up to higher levels? Well, that opportunity is disappearing very fast. Companies will now only have highly skilled people who can do many people's work using AI, and they will be paid a lot. The rest are in big trouble. So what can you and I do to deal with this coming crisis? No one has the answer. I, for one, have been trying to master the use of AI from the day ChatGPT became available. I have decided that I'm not going to eat out that much or buy some frivolous things that I really don't use. I'm using that money to subscribe to 5 AI platforms, including specialized ones right now. I spend at least 2 hours a day experimenting and playing with AI, including watching YouTube videos on how to take the most out of these AI platforms. Will that help me survive this job apocalypse? I don't know. But one reason I have started making videos again is so that I have some alternate source of income. And AI is helping me there. I'm using AI heavily for research, for structuring my narrative, and for producing and editing the videos. It's making things much faster. Maybe by using AI, I will be more productive and will be able to make a living from this. Who knows? And you can help me with it as well if you like this video and engage with it. That might make YouTube's algorithm reach more people. And yes, it will help me greatly if you subscribe to this channel and also click on the bell icon so that you get to know when a new video has dropped.